The stadium lights burned down on the ring as the crowd's anticipation swelled like a wave waiting to crash. Both fighters entered the arena, carrying not just the weight of expectations, but the pressure of narratives that had been building for weeks. One represented raw explosiveness and veteran craft. The other represented youth, hunger, and a relentless spirit forged in the long hours of preparation, far away from the spotlight. When the referee called them in, the tension shifted instantly from the arena to the small square between their feet. Gloves touched, respectful but heavy with intent. The opening bell shattered the suspense, and the challenger instantly took command of the center ring, launching sharp combinations that cut through the air with purpose. The champion, unshaken, met him with patience, keeping his guard high and stepping forward behind stiff jabs that snapped like branches under pressure. Back and forth they traded not just punches, but philosophies: chaos versus discipline, aggression versus composure. Every second felt amplified, every motion studied by thousands of eyes that understood they were witnessing a contest where a single mistake could rewrite the night. The round ended without a clear winner, but both corners returned with the knowledge that this was not going to be a fight decided by chance. It would be earned through grit, adaptability, and the ability to absorb punishment without losing identity. The second part of the battle unfolded with a noticeable change in atmosphere. The champion, who had been measured early, suddenly asserted himself with a shift in tempo, stepping in with a confidence that signaled his readiness to trade fire for fire. He marched forward behind a guard that refused to crack, absorbing the challenger's power shots as if each one only fueled his determination. The challenger, used to dictating pace, found himself forced to adjust, digging hooks to the body to slow the advancing opponent. Each shot thudded with intent, echoing through the arena with the weight of a fighter trying to bend the will of the man in front of him. The champion responded with counters, sharp, disciplined punches that snapped the challenger's head back and reminded everyone why he stood atop the division. The exchanges grew heavier, more violent, and more unpredictable. Neither man backed down when the other surged. The crowd could sense the friction of ambition meeting ambition, pride meeting pride. It wasn't simply a contest of power, it was a contest of refusal. The challenger refused to let the champion steal momentum. The champion refused to let the challenger impose dominance. And as the round closed, both men walked to their corners, breathing harder, gloves low, eyes determined. They had entered the unspoken part of boxing, where fighters begin studying not just punches, but hearts. The turning point arrived with the sudden violence that boxing delivers without warning. After minutes of back-and-forth tension, the challenger found the angle he had hunted for since the opening bell. A looping left hook crashed clean on to the champion's jaw, twisting him sideways before his legs betrayed him completely. He stumbled backward and crumpled to the canvas in a moment that sent shockwaves through the building. The crowd erupted as the referee started the count. The champion blinked, dazed, reaching for balance that wasn't there. At 5, he rolled to his knees. At 8, he tried to rise. And at 9, he willed himself upright, swaying like a man standing in a storm. The challenger didn't celebrate. He stalked to the neutral corner with the cold focus of a fighter who understood the moment wasn't victory, but opportunity. When the fight resumed, he unleashed a barrage of punches meant to finish the night, every strike thrown with the kind of ferocity that leaves nothing for the judges. But the champion refused to fall again. His legs were unsteady, his stance fractured, yet he clung to survival with clinches, counters, and sheer stubborn spirit. The seconds dragged like minutes as the challenger pursued the finish, But the champion's heart held him upright until the bell finally intervened. As he stumbled back to his stool, chest heaving, eyes glassy, the entire fight landscape had changed. He had been hurt, humbled, but he was still standing, and that alone kept the night alive. The middle rounds evolved into a test of endurance rather than explosiveness. The champion emerged from his corner with legs still uncertain, but with a determination that defied the damage he had suffered. He rebuilt his rhythm with small steps, tight jabs, and controlled breathing, trying to reclaim the space that had been stripped from him. The challenger, meanwhile, felt the fatigue of his own assault beginning to seep into his shoulders and legs. The furious attempt to finish the fight had drained him, and now every movement required more effort than before. Still, he pressed forward, chasing openings, hunting for the one clean shot that would end the night. The champion refused to give it. He tied the challenger up in the clinch, rolled his shoulders defensively, and countered with short, disciplined punches meant to buy him precious seconds of recovery. What had started as a furious battle transformed into a clash of attrition. Every shot mattered. Every mistake carried risk. The crowd watched in awe as the champion, once nearly defeated, clawed his way back into competitiveness, while the challenger struggled to manage energy and maintain control. Their faces grew more strained, their movements slower, but no less meaningful. They were fighting not just each other, but exhaustion itself, a foe every boxer meets eventually. And through the fatigue, both men refused to surrender their spirit or identity. The fight was now a contest of wills as much as skills. The final stretch of the fight unfolded with the intensity of two warriors emptying whatever remained in their reservoirs. Neither man entered the late rounds with the legs or sharpness they carried at the beginning, yet the determination in their eyes revealed that quitting was not an option. The challenger tried to reassert dominance, returning to the body attacks that had weakened the champion earlier in the night. Each thudding hook dug deeper, searching for the collapse that had nearly arrived before. The champion absorbed the punishment with a mixture of toughness and strategy, slipping in counters that reminded the challenger he was still dangerous even on tired legs. They circled, clashed, and separated with labored breaths, their footwork less tactical and more survival-driven. Moments of brilliance surfaced, an unexpected flurry here, a precise counter there, but the fight had become more about heart than clean technique. The final round opened with both fighters knowing only 3 minutes remained to define their stories. The champion stepped forward bravely, jabbing despite fatigue, showing the crowd and his opponent that he had not traveled so far just to fade away. The challenger met him in the center, planting his feet and trading in a final exchange that brought the audience to its feet. Neither fighter wilted, neither backed down. When the final bell sounded, they stood chest to chest, sweat dripping, eyes locked in mutual respect. They had shared not just a ring, but a war, a battle that tested strength, resolve, pride, and resilience. Whatever the judges would decide, both men left the arena knowing they had proven something greater than victory. They had shown the heart that makes boxing unforgettable.